Okay, let's continue. In this video, I want to work on the dialogues that come up when the user presses either reply. So you see this dialog come up here or the set status button. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, before we do that, I forgot to add this border in the previous video. So you'll see there's no border on the admin post here. So let's quickly do that. So if you take a look in Zeppelin, it is a gradient border, just like this here. And I don't know how to do that in CSS, but there is some CSS definitions here in Zeppelin, so I'm just going to make use of that. So I'm going to grab this, and if you remember, we have this isAdmin class, so let's just make use of that. Do isAdmin, okay, paste that in, and let's see if this works. Make sure to npm run dev. Okay, let's refresh. And there it is. Okay, so let's work on those dialogues, which are also in Zeppelin. So let's start with this one here. So this should appear when we press reply. Actually, I want to make the text on the reply button bigger. So where's that? Look for reply here. Yeah, let's make it text small. And same with the other button as well. So set status, text small. Okay. So we want to add the post comment dialog right underneath here. So I'm going to make a relative container around this button here. So let's wrap this in .relative, and underneath the button we can make something absolute in here, and let's just see if this works. Okay, so that looks like it's in the right place. So let's just add some classes here. So Z10, so it's in front of everything. Width 104 is the width I have here. I'm not sure if that's defined. I don't think it is, so we'll add that in a second. Text left, semi-bold. It's also text small, which is the default. So let me just remove that. Actually, let me just leave it in, it's okay. Make sure it's white. And we have this shadow dialog that we added. Rounded XL and margin top. Okay, let's see how that looks so far. Okay, we have to add width 104 or whatever I added here. Yeah, 104. So 104 divided by 4 is 26. Tailwind config 104, 26. Let's add here 26 rems. And 104. Okay. npm run dev. That should be good. Okay. So let's make it a form. And only has a text area and 2 buttons. So let's do that. So this will be a form. And let's give it some classes as well. Say space y4 and some padding px4 py6, or yeah, 6 is fine. And this will be the text area. So say text area, name is post comment, ID is post comment. I have 30 columns and 4 rows, and I have a bunch of classes here which we'll add. Width full, text SM like we've been doing, BG gray 100 for a slight gray, rounded XL like everything else. I'm also styling the placeholder text, so placeholder gray 900, no border, px4 and py2, and it's also add a placeholder here. What is it? So yeah, let me just type that in. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, looking good. Now we just have to add the buttons. So it's going to be a flex container and have these 2 buttons. So let's add that right underneath here. So flex, items center, and space X3 is what I have here. And the first button is the blue one, and that's the submit button. So I'm just going to copy, what's the other button I have on the page? The reply button. So that should be just above here. Yeah, so it's this one right here. So let's just grab this and paste it in here. And let's change it to post comment. We actually don't even need the span. Actually, yeah, we don't need the span at all. It's adding a margin left. Let's remove it from here too. Actually, we don't need the entire span because there is no icon. So let's remove it from there. Let's remove it from here. And it's called post comment. See how this looks. Okay. And the width I have on it is 1/2. So instead of 32, it's 1/2. Okay. And we can steal this attach button as well. So that's on the main page somewhere. App blade PHP. So where's that? Attach. Yeah, so this entire button. Let's grab this. Put it next to this button. And that should be everything we need. See? And let me just change the width on it. So I made it 32 instead of width 1/2. Okay, that looks good to me. The shadow doesn't seem to be showing. Is that what I named it? Shadow dialog? Yeah, shadow dialog. Did I name it incorrectly? Yes, I named it incorrectly. Dialog. Sorry about that. And the shadow should show now, and it does. Okay, let's do the same for the set status dialog. So let's open it up here and let's work on it. So I'm gonna hide this one that we just did so we can see it hidden. That should be gone for now. Okay. Actually, that's the entire button. I don't want that. I just want to hide this. Okay. So let's do the same thing. Let's make this relative. So that would be after this. So yeah, let's wrap this button in a relative container. Okay. And the classes should be the same. So this should be the same. So I'm just going to grab that and let's put it after our button here. And let's make sure to close that out. And let's give it a bigger Z index just in case both of them are open at the same time. I actually have a smaller width as well, 76, which I don't think is defined. So let's add that in here. So 76 divided by 4, 19. 76, 19 rems. And I should run my watcher, but keep doing npm run dev. Okay, so now nothing's going to show yet because there's nothing in there. I should have copied the form as well because it's the same. So let's grab that form and let's paste it in here and make sure to close it. Okay, let's just make sure this is rendering correctly. So let's just put something in here. And obviously it doesn't show up because we copied the hidden. Okay, so we have a list of radio buttons here, and I believe the intention here was to make it the color of the specific status. So let's go ahead and do that. So I am making use of Tailwind Forms, and that plugin makes these types of things easier to style. So I have it opened here, and I'm just gonna take a look at this, and let's just grab what we can here. So it looks like each option has its own div, and there's one parent div here. So I'm going to grab all of this and let's paste it in. So in our form, and let's see how this works. And these should be indented as well. Okay, let's see if this renders first. Okay, looking good. Let's just give the options some space in between. So we can do space Y for this parent div. So I have space Y too. Okay. And I don't think I have a margin top. So let's remove that as well. Okay. And what else do we have here? We just have all the different statuses here. So to make them colored, since we're using this plugin, all we have to do is give it a class. So I'll put it, I don't want this to be checked. Actually, that's the first one, so that will be checked. Let's give it a class. And we can say BG, whatever color we want, and that's it. So let's see if that is green now. And it is green. Actually, I don't want the background to be green. I want the selected one to be green. So I believe if I do text green, that should do it. And yeah, that's what I want. So I believe the background does have a subtle gray. And it does. So we can make the background BG gray 200 is what I have. So let's put that first. And I forgot the quotes. And that should work. So green background, not background, I mean when it's selected. And the background is gray. Let's also remove the border here. So border none. So yeah, that looks good. So I'm just going to paste in all the statuses with their corresponding colors, and then we'll work on the rest of it. Okay, so I pasted in the rest of the options and their specific colors. It's looking pretty good. Next is the text area, so let's work on that. So after this div, which is the parent div, yep, let's put a text area here. Text area, let's name it update comment. Call sturdy rows 3 is what I have. And let's give it some classes. Width full, text small, BG gray 100, rounded XL, placeholder gray 900, border none, PX4, and PY2. Placeholder, add, and update comment. Optional. Okay, let's see how that looks. Actually, I have this wrapped in a div, so let's do that. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, and last we have the buttons. So pretty much the same as what we have here, but the name is different. Actually, it's the same. No, update and submit. So we can pretty much just copy what we have in here. So let's do that from app blade PHP. So I guess we can grab the entire container. So that would be this entire container here. Let's grab that. And it's added after this. This one's attach, this one is update. And let's see if that works. Okay, looking pretty good. I think there's also a checkbox here. Yeah, there is for notify all voters. So again, let's look for that in the Tailwind Forms plugin. And I guess we can just look at one of these. And we can just grab one of them here. So let's grab this. And this goes underneath our container here. Let's make a new one. And space that in. Actually, it comes with its own div. Okay, and I have some extra classes here, so let's add those. I believe it's bold by default, so let's not make it bold. Let's give it a name here. Say notify voters, and let's change this. Notify all voters. Okay. Okay, looks good. And let's just give it the same gray background. So let's add a class here. Let's make it rounded as well. I have rounded here. And BG gray 200. Okay. Okay, looks pretty good to me. So here's our set status dialog. And let's bring back the other one as well. So it's going to be behind this, but that's okay. Where is it? Reply. And right here, let's just remove this for now. There we go. Oh yeah, and one more thing from the last video, this should be under consideration and not construction. So let me just change that. Construction. consideration. Okay. So yeah, I think this is a good place to make a commit. So let's go ahead and do that. So what episode is this? Episode 6. Episode 6. Let's say set status dialogs. And in the next video, we'll work on toggling the visibility of them using Alpine.